This is morning. That's when I spend the most time thinking about what I've given up. This is a warning. When you start the day, just to close the curtains, you're thinking about what I've given. This is morning.
Okay. Alright, we good. We're good. Alright. So, welcome to the stream. I know, again, this is not the most usual stream. I do apologize. Um, I was gonna be listening to music, because I thought, fuck it, why not? Um, now, I'm not a dumbass. I know how shit works, but I was just assuming shit was just gonna be a little bit easier. Um, so I kind of like thought, well, the audio is all coming from my main desktop, which is this one right here. So, oh, my main monitor. So nothing's not gonna work if I don't change it. And I'm a dumbass. So, uh, I apologize, YouTube. I did not mean for this to happen. Um, yeah. So we're on the my book right now. I talked about before that I would try to be doing stuff like this. I think in my the future for the channel video. I did one of these before. Uh, kind of did a little book talk about what was going on. 'Cause I did a stream about it about a couple weeks ago. So if you guys don't if you guys don't know, I'm an author as well. So I do write books. Um, I'm actually going through the process right now, getting it republished with a different publishing company this time. I kind of self-published it the first time around, which I do love. But it's only allowed only on Amazon, and so it's like I can only get stuff through Amazon. And if let's say like I was wanting when I first started this, I had the idea that like I would go and have like a book tour, because like if I was to go through a publication company, they might want me to kind of go on a little tiny book tour, to kind of get the book out there, right? So I'll go to a few bookstores and stuff like that, and it would happen like that. And that's not what ended up happening. First of all, she's married to one of these guys? What the fuck? Okay. So, pretty much right now, I'm kind of going right through that process again, which is fucking expensive, but that's just that's what happens. Um, 500 bucks a month, so up until November, so I have to pretty much not waste any of my money, which like I can get 500 a month pretty easily within the first 3 weeks, right? And technically, I could probably get it within the first 2 weeks if I was to put in like $300 a week. We'll get $300 a week and stuff, but that's not how stuff works all the time. So all the time I'm gonna be able to get that. So it's like it's really trying to put in and put some money in every single time. But do that up until November. The book will probably. They said it'd probably be launched before then, but I'm still having to cover it, right? Because they can just rip it off the shelves, right? So we'll be going in different stores. Uh, I think they talked about stores like, Amazon and which I already have one on Amazon, which I don't know what I'll do, to be honest. If we're really being honest, uh, I don't know what I would do, really. Um, if like they're like, well, hey, we see that there is two versions of those books already on Amazon. Can you, get rid of them? I would have to do that. Because I don't think it will complicate things. Like, 'cause the pictures are gonna be, except for this one, I might have to get rid of. The other one, I don't know. I don't think I would have to get rid of per se, because the fact that the cover is gonna look pretty different. Uh, I could technically do a little review of what the cover will look like. It's like it looks somewhat like this, but a little bit different to kind of go with the style that I've been doing. Um, because like I want it to like this. it's still gonna look very different compared to the other ones. But that's only because the fact that this is snowing and so it kind of looks a bit different. Uh, but like this one I would probably get rid of. This one I wouldn't, you know, just because I feel like this one, the story is a bit changed because I had to change one of the characters to kind of go back to what it used to be like. But even then, if I use the same cover, people might get a bit different, and no matter what, money will be going to me, but it would be the wrong one, right? And people would be getting the wrong book. So I would probably have to get rid of that one, if anything. Um, but yeah, I'm kind of doing that. They also said like Walmart and Target and stuff. So like Barnes and Nobles, Bam, like it would be in bookstores, and I would have that. And so that is what kind of makes me excited because that's what I wanted. Is I want my book in stores. So if I have to pay $500 a month going forward, I will do $500 a month, right? I gotta be smart with my money too. I can't sit there and just waste it. That's why I'm like, it hurts a little bit because like, before I didn't, because like this doesn't cost any money for me. Like putting this on Amazon doesn't cost me any money. I can do it for free, right? But it's about keeping up with it and kind of doing stuff. Right. So the biggest thing is marketing, right? I can market my book, right, and do stuff like this, right? Right. So I could do like something like this or do some deals and stuff. Right, but this is only for the ebook. This is not like my ebook only goes for like $6, which is not bad because I get I think $5 back when people buy it. So it's not the biggest issue. Like it's pretty good, but it's the fact that it's only ebook, right? And so get people to buy a copy of the book, it'll be harder, right? So if I was to do this, right? Log in. Yeah, I'm not doing that though, but like it's like you gotta do all that yourself, and it's not bad. It's just the fact that you have to keep up with it, and then if I don't keep up with it, it's just like me wanting to be an author is just it's still a hobby. I'm just getting the book out there, right? So pretty much my goal is to get these out there. They're gonna be like around the same size as my book now, like, and it just being because of the fact that's 300 pages. Like if they're like, hey, what kind of size you were looking for? I'm like, well, my book that I had already published is 5.5 by 8.5, right? Like, oh, we can do that. That way, it still stays the same size. Right? The other size they talked about was 6 by 9, and it's just point 0.5 a bit more. So it's not like the biggest issue, but yeah. Uh, but they talked about that going in next week. While I'll have my project manager and go through talking with them and stuff. Um, I already kind of talked. They wanted like, oh, let's do a new cover. I'm like, actually, I got a cover instead. I kind of just fixed up the original cover a little bit. I like this a little bit more. It's a bit different. Like, okay, you know, But now that we're back here, we're back to pretty much what I'm going through is going. I went through chapter by chapter, formatting it, which I don't even know why I'm doing this. I like it. It bothers me a little bit, you know. And that's why I go back to this is because of the fact that I don't know if I'll go through with this again. You know what I mean? What I'll do is probably go through book like I don't know if I'll go through it again unless I make a lot of money and I'm like, you know what? Go for it. I don't mind doing that. But at the exact same time, I'm kind of already going through my own fucking formatting and stuff, and so it's like it should be no reason for me to do this. So like the only thing I can think of doing now is just do the first book only, and then just kind of still do your marketing the other way. That way you can make some sort of money and stuff. But if like I said, if I make a lot of money, I guess I can just make these books, uh, have them only just so I can have author copies, I guess. But they said they will give me an author copy just to let me know if, like I like it and want anything different. So, like it's one of those things. It's like you gotta think about before you do. And I did think about doing this before then, but I don't think I think I thought about it in a way of like, oh, this is gonna get me going. But it's like, what about the progress you've already done on some of these books, right? Like I have to go through. I guess like it's just one thing to have an idea of what I'm trying to do, but it's just like all of this is just gonna be already like pre-formatted. Like this would be uh this like I'm pretty much doing this as a manuscript, pretty much, right? And then I'm done. I guess it's fine. That's still good. That makes their job a bit easier. But like if this was like the page setup was already to the page setup that I'll be doing, yeah, there was like I'm like having to redo so much things. But to kind of get a fresher, this is book 4. I haven't worked on book 3 yet. Book 3 is a short story. I'm doing this one because this is the longer one that I have to worry about and still part of the main continuity of the story. This is pretty much my uh characters slash description. Um, pretty much to let me know what characters are in the book, the description of the book and stuff. I do have to start doing my character descriptions as well, so they're just a copy and paste I can put in. The reason why I'm not a lot of these people's names are still here, like this is based off of real people too, like friends of mine. And so it's like there's people in here that names are still the same. They're not changed. The reason being because of the fact that they're not going to be out in the public, except well for now. But I hardly bet I'm going to get 100,000 people on this one stream, and then everyone's going to see these names. No, but like I have this. Pretty much the green is who survived, the red is who dies, the dark green is like who died and came back in the same book, right? Because there's like got this, you know. Should be that color. But the yellows are just side characters, pretty much. Like they're only part of the book for a little bit. They're not actually a main character of the story, right? And they're only in there for a short time too. So it's like I'm in book 3, but it's really more these people, right? Then we have book 4, same thing. Um, so people who died and stuff, and then I haven't done this yet because I'm still working on this one, so I'm trying to figure out on who's still gonna die in this book. Um, right, but pretty much the whole point is to kind of get myself on who's in the book, who's going to be dying, the description of the book, the plot of the book, and the book name. So the way that I've done things is saga-wise. Now, the franchise name is Grimm, right? And so the first person that we is the biggest threat and we have to deal with is Grimm. And Grimm is the harbinger of death, he's the Grim Reaper and stuff. So up until Aftermath is the final book where Grimm is the main threat. Right. Go into the book after the fact, we introduce Hellhounds, which they're my versions of like, because werewolves are gonna be part of the book, but they're my version of the first. Well, they're a werewolf that is just not bound by the moon and is specifically hell to kind of give this still the hell base because we have Graham and stuff, right? And they get 4 books, right? Now the reason why Graham has 5 books is just because of the 1945. Realistically, there are 4 books. This is just a short story talking about what happened in 1945. Right. So we have the Hellhound Chronicles, which is book 1 of the Hellhound Saga. We have Grim Reckoning, which is book 2. Grim the Dark Hour, which is book 3. Grim Absolute Part 1 and Grim Absolute Part 2. Red Dawn was Part 1 because Red Dawn and Aftermath are parts, right? After that, we hit the Vampire Saga, which is Grim Bloodthirsty, Grim Crimson Blood, right? And then there's going to be another one and another one. After that, we hit Wendigos. After that, we hit werewolves, and then after that, we hit the witches, right? Who created all these. Um, if this was my iMac, I could fucking show you my notes, cause like there's a reason before everything. Um, I know what I know of is Grimm was the first one, right? I made sure that Grimm was the first one. Then they wanted to start working on more. By doing that, they went after and created the Wendigos, but Wendigos were controlled by hunger, right, and their aggression. So in order to lock away the aggression and the hunger, they made the vampires, they died, made sure that they died, right? So there would be no hunger for meat, and that their aggression would only be locked when they're like in their vampire state, right? But by doing that, also locking them out from the sun, by doing that, they created the hunger for blood. So they like, fuck it, let's retry again. And then they created the werewolves. Instead of killing them, they locked them and bound them to the moon. By doing that, they can only control when the moon is full, which only gives them a short time of being aggressive and on a kill spree. And they are no longer controlled by hunger, but they want to do it even more, so they try to master it again with the Hellhounds. The Hellhounds are like werewolves, but they are just not bound to the moon, and they can change at full will, for like free will, pretty much. Okay. But the Hellhounds are, I think, I think I have them as the weakest ones. They're still fucking strong as fuck, but they're Grim is a god, pretty much. Then we have, I think it was Wendigos. They're fast and strong. Then you have werewolves, vampires, and then hellhounds. And hellhounds, when they're created with a pack, when they're merged together, they're at their strongest, right? And they call what I call them as a tribreed, right? It's the tribreed, right? They are infused with each other, making them stronger, faster, and deadlier. When they're in their pack as well and they're not fused, they're also stronger and faster, kind of like what a werewolf is. Like I said, they're just pretty much werewolves, but change of free will, and they are particularly the gatekeepers of hell. Okay, that's how they are in my book, right? Like I said, if I had this is my iMac, I have these notes in my iMac and stuff. Um, I guess I can take screenshots of everything and post them to my email. So I can talk about them a little bit more. I should be, first of all, I'm supposed to be like writing, but more just talking. Power scale, Grim is a guide. Wendigo, stronger due to their hunger. The more they eat, stronger they get. Werewolves, Moonlight makes them stronger and faster. Vampires, blood makes them stronger and faster. Hellhound, strong on its own, but stronger in a pack like werewolves, but just not as strong, which puts them here. Technically, if I really want to go in there, the witches would probably be in between Grim and the Wendigos, just because of magic. Right? Grim, like I said, was the first one that Wendigos first tried to recreate Grim in human forms, but was controlled by a hunger of human meat and flesh. It was more of a monster, can procreate. I said that because the fact that vampires uh can't procreate because they're dead, right? So, which means this their DNA can like a baby Wendigo can happen, or a baby werewolf can happen, or a baby hellhound can happen, right? And of course, witches can procreate. All right. Then next was vampires. Try to make them more smarter. Kept them to only go out during the night and lurk in the dark, but killed them so there was no hunger. But once again, was controlled by their hunger for blood. This time there was no hunger for meat, but hunger for blood instead. Werewolves bound them to the moon to lock their aggression and hunger away, but no hunger came, only aggression. Can procreate. Hellhounds wanted the same thing from the werewolves, but able to return at will. Aggression still high, but just like werewolves, there was no hunger. Can procreate. And then witches always been fighting the fight in the dark, so they can keep balance, preventing total chaos. Except for the blood witches, which ones are the bad ones in my story, in my world. Alright, this is the goals throughout the book. This is for Red Dawn. I want the book to be longer than both books. I want it to be 400 to 500 pages, since it's not only a big event, but the series, but it's one more book until the end. It's also shaped the future throughout the series. So this book shapes, the future from the introduction of resurrecting people to unleashing other creatures, but it's supposed to be an end game type event. And then the possible idea. This is what my brother wanted from at the end of Aftermath. The powers and soul of Grim enters Bury and slowly corrupts him throughout the story, and by the end gets his powers and more. Right, and then of course I think I said the cover. I could show the cover. It doesn't really. I guess it doesn't bother me if I do. It's pretty much this. A lot more colorful. I gotta hope that the barcode can fit on here. Right. The reason why is because again the numbers. I need the numbers to be there because the other book has the numbers. I don't think I have the other. I don't think I have book four's cover. But book four's cover is like my favorite cover that I made. But it's similar to like this, but it's not. But I don't know where. I think I left off before. But no, so pretty much what I'm trying to do right now, like I said, is because I went through all the formatting, adding more because like I said, I wanted 400 pages, and I'm only on 195, right? I'm also saying like if I can't hit 400, then I won't be mad. But it's supposed to be a big type of event, right? This is supposed to be like where shit starts to go and hits the fan for them, right? I don't want it to be around the same pages. Like if it's around 353, 380, that's like what it usually was for Grim One and Grim Resurrection. So I wouldn't want that. I would want it to be different, right? And so because of that, I want it to be 400 because it's a big event, and Aftermath to be around that same range of maybe around 380 to 400 instead of since like it doesn't need to be the biggest thing. But that book is like that's the first book that's not actually finished. Okay, after this is done, I'm going to 1945, making that around more like 100 pages because I think it's 30 pages, right? Adding more chapters to it or something, and kind of I would originally I was gonna release it on here at the same time, right? So it's like, what would you do? Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do when it comes down to this. If I make a lot of money, do I go back? And I mean, like, if I make a lot of money going into like book from the first book, and I make around $1,000 within the first year, right? So that's like closely maybe $20 to $30 a month. I wouldn't mind that, really. Right? But because of this, do I release it on my own terms, right? Be able to save money because I'm not going to be able to do this all the time unless I make a lot of money, right? Because my rent and stuff like that, I can't sit there and put $500. Like, I would honestly, if I make a lot of money, as I make around unrealistic number, but I'm just gonna put it out there just so I can make it a point. I make around 8 grand. I would literally sit there and I'd probably upload a new published title, right? I'll do Resurrection, and I will pay the 3,700. That way I can get that going, and I don't have to pay it every single month. And I just got that, and I'm still getting sales with Grim One, right? Now Grim Two is about to be released, right? I would be fine with that. But if I don't sit there and make a lot of money, I'm not gonna say, oh, done doing that. No, I'll just go back to doing what I was doing, and that way I will change this around to how it would look now with everything, right? Like, or I wouldn't care and I would try to tag it and pin it or stuff. Like, if I could like add books to my shit, like, okay, I'm an author and I have this book out too, I would do that. But it doesn't work like that, you know, sadly. But this started out as 120, and I'm not even done. Like, I've done sitting there. I haven't done the prologue yet because that's supposed to be added within 1945. Um, so chapter one is 10 pages. I like, yo, that's pretty good. Chapter two though is 16 pages, and chapter three going on chapter four is hitting that like almost 20-page mark, right? So if I can sit there and add 10 pages, well, this is looking like 15 pages right now. If I can sit there and add more pages throughout, I'll have a lot of stuff. But it's gonna be like a point where I'm gonna have to add in a new chapter in anyways as well. So that's like if I can do 10, 15 pages on that chapter as well, that would be pretty good. Because it's supposed to be it's around the end. It sets up like a big fight between one of the two characters, or my character, or one of the other characters. And then you have the epilogue, and that goes into aftermath and stuff. chapter's almost done anyways. Like I'm pretty much on like this right here down, and then it's going down. So like I I honestly might get off. It's not that I don't want to write. It's the fact that I'm more like I want to be able to eat. Like I thought about streaming and it would be this fun experience, but I feel like I would just be talking and talking and talking and talking, and so I would never get any writing done. What kind of do updates? I probably will do that and stuff. Again, everything is so confusing right now for me because I have the first book out and stuff. Also, I gotta Google Workspace, and that's just like $80 a year, right? And I think I bought the one that like